you doing, Patriots? Here we are, end of May, getting towards the end of May, and we got a watermark, all right. Let's see if we got network. If we do, we're in business. It's fluctuating, it's triangulating, it's diving. Oh no. It's down to nothing. Oh. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to search. Searching for network. How about over here? All right, we got chat. There's Hilda Bechtel. Hello. Coming in okay on your end. All right, we'll just go with it because, man, a lot happened this week, didn't it? I think this was like the week of James Comey, you know, taking front and center here. What did James Comey do? Let's look at what James Comey did. Here's the ex-FBI director. And James Comey puts up a social media post that says 8647. He claims he just found it on the beach, took a picture of it, and posted it. So he was exercising his freedom of speech, basically. That is the question. Do you think like James Comey, the head of the FBI, would know code language and what certain things mean and what certain things don't mean? He claims he didn't even know what 86 meant, which is a blatant lie. And this is what they do. They mock us to our faces. They don't care what we think about anything. Anything. Hi, Lee Bart. Hi, Deb Vi. How's everyone going today? We're still in the battles, still in the trenches for this country. Things are moving in the direction that we want them to be. That table that sits around Trump and has their cabinet meeting, that is the power structure of our country right now. Congress is flailing. They can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. And that's what we're up against right now. So Trump's got his team in place. We get statements and things that come out into the news that we're all scratching our heads like Pam Bondi. How come nobody's getting arrested? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are the head of the FBI right now, and they just got out and released a statement. And in those statements, they said that Epstein did kill himself, which we all know is not true, and it just goes on and on. But when you just sit and look at the results of what's going on, things are starting to add up in the right direction here, okay? Day one, we got the J6ers out of prison. They were pardoned, and we're still picking up pieces on that because a dozen of them haven't been pardoned yet, and the families are all trying to get their feet on the ground. Back their life that they had before. It is still ongoing. We're still, the other night with Maria Bartiromo, we're saying that, yeah, there was FBI, we don't know if they're agents. Maria Bartiromo, seemingly doesn't know how to ask the question the right way. Fox News, it's just another arm of the propaganda machine. So, and just to prove that, the other night, Jesse Waters is interviewing Tim Pool, okay? Like, Jesse Waters usually was the one shred of legitimacy that the mainstream media had for me, you know? I can't stand 5 and all the other, the morning and all the whole point of just struck me as totally ridiculous. People, influencers or whatever you want to call them. Tim Pool is about the worst of them, okay? So then you got Jesse Waters bringing Tim Pool as an expert to interview on his news show. So this isn't news, people. This is propaganda. In the past, and probably still so now, it's supported with your tax dollars through USAID and all kinds of internal payoffs between informants in the government, the DOD, the FBI, the CIA, that is putting that presentation onto you every night in your living rooms on a television set to get you to think a certain way. And we're out here trying to tell you the truth. We're out here trying to tell you really what's going on. We're praying for discernment so that we can look at what's going on out here and just figure out what is malarkey, what is valid. Should we be satisfied with the leadership that we voted in or not? And I think we got to come to the conclusion, patriots, that we should be satisfied. And if you're listening to people that are not satisfied with what's going on right now, consider your sources, consider who you're listening to, because we have tremendous amount of movement on topics, a wide-ranging array of topics that finally are breaking loose from within the government. I just saw 5 minutes ago, Tulsi Gabbard is releasing all these like paper documents, or in the process of releasing them. For some reason, she has to show them to Congress before they can show them to us. They got to go through them at the NSA first, and then they present all that to the Congress, and then they got to look at it, make sure we can see that. Unfortunately, that's where it could get all screwed up. So we'll see what they actually let us see. But they're documenting electronically all these paper documents that haven't even been looked at in 60 years. So it's coming out. It's coming out. That's movement in the right direction. For 60 years, they hid that stuff from us. And for why? We don't even know why. But now we're going to be able to start making some sense of this stuff, okay? Another thing is We the People MAGA just did a live stream earlier today with Adam Villarreal and Suzanne Monk in D.C., and they were discussing those pardons that haven't come yet and how to help out the J6ers and their families get their feet back on the ground now that they're out. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of different ways to do this, okay? But if anybody's working in that direction, we got to be happy about that. No matter who they are or what they're doing, you may not agree with what they're doing or who somebody's got to step up and help them. One point that Adam Villarreal brought up in Hunters, and these were supposedly volunteers that were helping the DOJ come up with charges against people, suspects that they should have looked at, and then they collected all the evidence. And Adam Villarreal saying, like, we don't have that, man. We need treason hunters right now. We need people presented to the people that can do something about it. Even elected, took it upon herself to write a book about pardons, man. The J6 Pardon Project was written before Trump won the election. And it basically she collected all the information about pardons and exonerations and cancellations and all that, and put it all in a book so that it can be easily digested by people. And these are the efforts that take a lot of time, a lot of money. They're really hard to do, but somebody's got to do it. And that's where we got to step it up, patriots. We all got talents, and God has put us all in the places where we're at with those talents, and we just got to continue to allow that to flow, allow that to move forward, to present a unified against these. So a lot of people, there's a lot of people complaining on the news, on the right-wing media about Pam Bondi and Bongino now. But look at what they're doing. Look at the results of what's happening. Consider the amount of time that they've had to do the work that they need to do before they get results, you know. And I think we should overall be satisfied with that, right? How about that? Does that sound right, Patriots? Hey there, silly for him. And we got Belinda. Hello, blessings, Belinda Eckhart. Hey, Sonal, what's happening, bud? Cindy W. Good to see you all. Patriot Roy D. So, there we go. Thank you, Sylvia. Suzanne Monk's book, How to Pardon the J6ers, The Comprehensive Strategy. She didn't make money on that book because you can purchase that book for like, I think less than $5 actually. And it's a good book to have. It's a quick read. It gets you up on the subject of pardons and all commutations of sentence. There's a lot to it in there, you know. And right now, Trump has put in people in place. There is a pardon czar right now, okay? There is the head attorney for D.C. now is on the board for the weaponization working group right now. And he is the head of the pardon department. So we have our people are in charge in the pardon area, and that stuff will clear up as time goes on. They pardoned the J6ers. They pardoned the praying people from the that got busted through the FACE Act. They pardoned several other, like obviously wrongfully convicted people that were persecuted by a weaponized Department of Justice, man. There you go, Sylvia. Book is 440. See the effort, man. Suzanne Monk was a get the J6ers out of prison thing, man. It took a lot of work. We got the victory, and we are moving on. So let's just look at some of the things that happened this week, man, because it was a highly eventful week, and you forget by the end of the week what happened. Refugees come in from South Africa, Afrikaners. And what's happening over there is white farmers are being murdered, run off their land. They're actually making laws in South Africa that makes you treat these people in racist ways. So whatever's going on over there, America has landed a free home of the brave. There's ways of coming here to get out of persecution like that. That's why 20 million people supposedly just came through while Biden was in office. They're coming in from South Africa, and the Episcopal Church has decided that they don't want to help the government settle aliens in our country anymore. For years, they've received millions of dollars from the government to settle refugees here in America. They were right here in my hometown, the Council of Churches, doing good stuff, helping persecuted people out. And there's a system, you know. You come in, you fill out the paperwork when you get here, and that's the way. And some people get fast-tracked in. If there's a dire event going on in their country, we can instantly make it easier through law and order, through our immigration services. But they don't want these white farmers coming in from South Africa because they don't fit the narrative, okay? White people can't be seeking asylum, you know, because we're entitled. We got why should they help us out, white people out, when we have all those advantages and entitlements that they wrongfully say that we all have, right? So that turned into a big flap, man. And the Episcopal Church was operating as a non-government organization funded by the government, whatever that means. And they decided to draw the line. They're not going to help these people from South Africa. Racism in your face coming from a church right now. Episcopalian Church, by the way, was the same church that Trump sat there and got lectured by a very manly looking woman head of the church, and they tricked Trump into coming in there, and she didn't even have a message of Jesus that day. She just browbeat Trump and Vance and Melania while they're attending a church service sitting there in the front row. Absolutely hideous display of controlled media. We got the Supreme Court flailing around. Supreme Court lifts Obama judge's block on Trump's order to revoke protect status of hundreds of thousands. And Ketanji couldn't agree to that. So that sounds like it's going our way after multiple flaps and stuff. All right, the Trump DOJ has settled in Ashley Babbitt wrongful death lawsuit. All right. That's sounding good too. That's all news to me, Sylvia. Thank you very much. Several old farms are taking them in. All right, and that's where we, the people, stand up and say, all right, we're helping there, And screw the Episcopal Church, man. If you're going to the Episcopal Church right now, consider you're going to the church. But it's the Episcopal Church that just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's a Comey's little seashell game by the seashore. Comey wrote a book. It's not selling very well. They probably printed up 100,000 copies of it that's sitting in a warehouse somewhere now. So did Comey just do this for some stir up the people of this country to somehow become a violent group of people, a violent nation of? And it's just not going to happen. It ain't going to happen out of us, okay? So was he threatening a president with assassination with his message? I don't know, man, but that's what's in the news every day, and that seems to be the distraction story. Those people, the New World Order people, can just drum up one of these stories that will suck all the air out of the attention of the media for a week. And that's what just happened this week. This was Comey week on TV news. That's all they wanted to talk about. But in the meantime, we got information that India has dropped all their tariffs. All of them. So we got free trade with India right now. We got information this week that Hakeem Jeffries attended the Diddy freak-offs, where they would dress up in exaggerated communistic costumes and have a party, and who knows what went on. But Hakeem Jeffries, the guy that was standing right in line to be the leader of the House of Representatives of America, was going to these sick parties over at Diddy's house, That came out in testimony in the Diddy trial this week. They're talking about possible riots in Minnesota because they might let Derek Chauvin out of prison. Derek Chauvin was the cop that kept his knee on George Floyd's neck until he died. Didn't look cool to me. They arrested him, threw him in prison, found him guilty of manslaughter. And here's where we get into the thin blue line, debate or fight that they want us to get into. We had a little bit of that going on right here. We had a little bit of police overreaction right here in my hometown, man. The police chief where I live just pulled up on a guy on a motorcycle, getting off his motorcycle, not even off the bike yet, behind where the guy works, with a gun drawn on the guy. And then he goes over and starts pushing the guy over. This cop was not wearing a police costume. He wasn't driving a marked car. This guy had no idea who this cop was, that he was even a gun. Stuffs a gun in his face, and with the other arm is trying to push him off of his motorcycle. This is a heinous overstepping of police authority. We give the police authority to keep us safe and protected and uphold the laws in this country and your local communities. And then the policeman wrote a police report with not one factual statement in the thing. And we know that because he wrote what happened, and now we have a video of what happened. And it is two 180-degree things, man. And then we got the prosecutor, and they were going to charge the dude on the motorcycle with assault and battery on police officer charges, which are felonies, okay? Would have seriously messed up this guy's life. But instead, they dropped the felony charges to the guy on the motorcycle. He's still got like 6 traffic citations for something, whatever. But for a motor offense, a traffic offense that this unmarked undercover cop apparently watched him do, driving infractions, speeding, running a red light without a license. I don't even know what the guy on the motorcycle was guilty of there, but he ended up with 6 citations. And for that, you get a gun drawn on you. So that is an escalation of police force. The dude on the motorcycle didn't have a weapon. He didn't show any sign of violence whatsoever. And basically all he did was the cop dragged him off the motorcycle but didn't successfully get him to the ground. And the guy ran away. He didn't attack the cop, but he kept himself from getting slammed into the ground and all that. And that is police assault. I don't see how those charges could even be started over what happened, but they did, and then they dropped them. And now we want this police officer charged, who happens to be the sheriff, the head, the top cop in my township here, showing his guys what to do, how to not behave. And when you hold a high position like that, you got to be held responsible, man. Pope Charles. Oh, we got a douchebag in the chat. Just let him in there. What else? Oh, we got Tom Tillis. Okay, Tom Tillis, a Republican, he opposed the Ed Martin nomination. Ed Martin was supposed to be the head attorney for District of Columbia. A Republican, Tom Tillis, refused to certify him. Probably better anyways. The election was rigged. That J6 was a setup, obviously blind. Many statements in the past by Tom Tillis, and was propagating the Brian Sicknick murder with a fire extinguisher. Has never apologized for being wrong about all those statements that he made after J6. Just willfully ignorant, man. Will not look. How do you get elected by election fraud? So this is what we got to do for the upcoming elections, man. The 2026 elections. All these rhinos got to go, and we got to be very effective at that. That's where we got Trump's back, okay? Here's Republicans that didn't back up the Republican president of the United States. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And they're all fighting about the big, beautiful bill. They did pass the Take It Down Act, which is, internet censorship in a nutshell, really. But they passed that. It sounds like it's a good deal because of all the topics related to the Take It Down Act. I don't even want to get into it. We did in a show a while ago what that Take It Down Act is. But Congress passed that and sent it to Trump's desk. He signed that, I think, today. So, yeah, we got Tom Tillis willfully ignorant of the facts of the 2020 election and the J6 and the Brian Sicknick fraud. And the Brian Sicknick fraud, I mean, that was a whole deal right there. J6ers were on the spot trying to advise the cops there that Brian Sicknick was suffering the symptoms of a stroke. Those J6ers' names are Rod Taylor and Chris Alberts. Actually went to the police and said, your buddy over here, Brian Sicknick, is showing signs that he is suffering from a potential stroke. And they told Chris Alberts and Rod Taylor to beat it. We got this. We can take care of it. And at 10 o'clock at night or shortly after, Brian Sicknick was dead of a stroke. Okay, so there's negligence on the guys you work with on the police force. I don't want to work with guys like that at all, man. Kash Patel. In other news this week, a lot's going on. All we heard about was about James Comey seashell game. But really, all this stuff happened. Kash Patel decommissions the J. Edgar Hoover building in D.C., which is the FBI headquarters, and sent 1,500 agents that worked at the FBI field office in D.C., 1,500 of them worked there, sent them out into the field offices throughout the country, got them into the field, and hopefully we're going to see some results in that. We'll hopefully see some results in that. In the meantime, they are thinning the ranks, thinning the herd within. They are weeding out the bad apples, because I'm hearing that a lot of these agencies still have to give a 5-point bullet points presentation on what they did each week. Okay, that's still going on. So if you can't justify your existence at the government, somebody's going to come and start looking at your position and whether or not we can get along without you. We got the one big beautiful bill. It failed in the House committee, and then I'm watching TV, and the news, the Fox News is saying, oh, here's Representative. News is just junk right now. They don't even know who's making statements. They're putting the wrong name of the wrong guy on the TV while that other guy's talking. So the news is just junk, people. Anthony Sullivan. Yeah, I don't know who that is, Belinda. Sorry. So anyways, hey, Carol Burton. Thanks for joining us, Patriots. Thanks for staying plugged in here. Hit the like and the share and the subscribe. And if you don't get the notifications, try going back. Flash. Your phone will do an upgrade tonight after you go to bed. Sometimes that will erase the notification bell. So it doesn't hurt to go back in. It doesn't help to unsubscribe and then go back in and subscribe again, because sometimes. So yeah, the one big beautiful bill, they went through the motions. Apparently it has passed the House now at this point, and will be going to the Senate for approval. And if we can't pass one big beautiful bill, I don't care if there are people screaming, oh, there's all this stuff, they're going to take away there's no tax cuts. It's lies, Patriots. It's lies. This is the bill that Trump needs to do it. It's probably going to increase the debt ceiling. Well, every other president did ones that increased the debt ceiling, all right? But things are gonna start smoothing out once we get to that. News came out in one state, I believe it was Maryland, that dozens and dozens of police custody deaths should have been ruled homicides. So once again, here we got this thin blue line problem going on in America. It's actually police week right now. We're celebrating the police right now. When we got all kinds of stuff happening with the cops every single day, trampling our rights. And we got hundreds of good cops doing nothing while they're standing shoulder to shoulder with bad cops. So we got a cop problem in this country right now. And when, like the sheriff here, we're going to get sued for unlawful use of force against him, and taking away his constitutional rights. This is going to be a big case. We are going to end up paying for it, or the township's insurance company is going to have to pay for it. Whatever. There are simple ways to solve this stuff, man. If that cop had to have his own insurance, like all contractors have to have your own insurance in case you screw something up on a job. You don't have to sue the owner of the home or the owner of the company that supplied the materials. You have to have your own liability insurance. If we made every single cop have one of these insurance policies in order to stay employed, the insurance companies would police these people. The insurance companies would make sure that there aren't any bad cops because they don't want to lose any money on it. All right, Sylvia, pardon J6 hostage, suffers a stroke. Remains optimistic, needs help covering medical expenses. That's on the Gateway Pundit. Gateway Pundit still reporting. All right, there's a good source of information right there. They will report on the things that the mainstream doesn't even want to touch. We've had the, all of a sudden there's a big flap now when Joe Biden's got cancer, okay? He came out with a statement that he has prostate cancer or something, man. So Joe Biden lies all the time. Mainstream media lies all the time. And the only sources of this information is Joe Biden and the mainstream media. So make of that what you will, all right? Because what also happened this week was the tapes from the Her report, when they were questioning Joe Biden about having secret documents in boxes in his garage, Joe Biden came out looking awful incompetent, man. So here's more evidence that FJB was nothing but a puppet. He didn't win the election. He was installed, and he wasn't even in charge of the government. He wasn't even signing the documents. They had an auto pen. All of this relates all the way back to the rigged 2020 election, man. And who rigged the 2020 election? Hillary and Obama, you know? So the Biden Her tapes have come out, which is the actual tapes of Joe Biden talking. We've had the transcripts of these tapes. There's 6 hours of tapes on this. And we knew everything that Joe said, and we said back then, wow, he's Biden saying that he's can't remember stuff, that it's just one goofy thing after another, man. He had it for years, right, Carol? Couldn't remember the year he was vice president. You know what struck me, and the piece of that I did listen to, the guy is just railing. They were just or something. Absolutely ridiculous. But all that information was out 2 years ago when Her interviewed him, man. Wow. Her ruled that he was too incompetent to stand trial, yet he was the sitting president of the United States of America. I don't understand how that can happen. I do not understand. New York, a masted sailboat owned by Mexico somehow or another went backwards underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, and it took the masts right off the top of the boat, man. So what is that? Apparently there's 2 people dead from that. We've had weird, massive storms again in Missouri and Tennessee. Storms again. Chemtrail weather manipulation topic is at forefront right now. In 1980 or 90, they knew how to decommission a hurricane, okay? They knew how to stop a hurricane from turning worse. And it was a simple procedure where they break the eye wall. There's a wall of air around the eye of a hurricane. And if they disturb that in pretty minor ways, it keeps the hurricane from amplifying. Well, it sure looks like they know how to amplify these storms now. There's that link, Sylvia. The prosecutor's audio shows Biden's memory lapses and soft. So there's a bazillion other things I wanted to talk about. Here were some excellent, if Comey's got free speech, so do we. Oh, here's a shell formation somebody found on the beach. Trump won! down. And this is what's cool about MAGA. Like, we don't stoop to their level. We just laugh at them, even though they're destroying our lives. ACB says there was people standing on those cross poles. I saw, man. I saw one guy dangling, you know, underneath. The thing I thought was crazy was that boat went under the bridge backwards at a pretty high rate of speed, man. So apparently they lost engines. There was a tugboat right next to it. It almost looked like that thing was towed under the bridge somehow, underwater, because it went under there backwards, man. Oh, here's another nice shell formation. Look at that. They just randomly appear. All these like shell formations. Here's a really good one here. These people are ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. And I think the best way to deal with them is to just laugh hysterically in their faces. We laugh at you. You are so ridiculous. We just laugh at you. That was the best. Days go by too. It's pretty wild. Oh, here's a new statue they put up in somewhere. I can't remember where. You know, they put up a 12-foot statue of a brown or a black woman in a t-shirt. Right, Sylvia, that's how the ocean gets so salty. We gotta get that in one screen. There was a bunch of other stuff that happened, but I didn't write everything down. Here was a funny Simpsons one. Back in my day, we thought putting toxic waste in the water was good for your teeth. It's crazy. This is crazy. We are in crazy world. What will history say? In the meantime, it's rising up all over the world, patriots. All over the world. This was President Trump's last week tour in the Middle East, getting the absolute royal treatment in every country he visited, escorted in with beautiful military jet formations. He would be escorted out of one country with 8 fighter jets, and then right at the border, 15 other jets would sweep in and escort Air Force One to their country. So what you should notice in this picture right now is that's the King of Saudi Arabia waiting for Donald J. Trump to descend the stairs, instead of sending a car to pick the guy up and drop him off at the door like he did with Biden. There was amazing show of respect to our president while he was on this trip. They gave him the full-on reception in these countries. They closed this whole mosque down, the biggest mosque in Saudi Arabia. They closed it down. Trump was marveled at the beautiful construction of these buildings over there. They are gorgeous. Yeah, Sylvia, you remember that when Biden went there? Yeah, he fist bumps him. He gets dropped off on the curb like a freaking by an Uber driver or something. Yeah, go pick FJB up at the airport. This is the tallest building in the world that they just decked out in the stars and stripes for our president when he came and visited that country. And when you're looking for meanings and things, I saw a whole procession of military generals come up in a line and salute our president. So you got to understand military protocol to understand one. Just outstanding. And it was all filmed so well, too. I mean, cameras were in the right places. There was a lot of fanfare. And it was something to behold. And I would say that it was worth it. Respect through strength. Good point, Sylvia. And Trump came home with $2 trillion worth of investment promises from these countries: Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Trillions of dollars of promised investments. And here's our Congress, asleep at the wheel. Uh-oh, Carol, what are you saying? YouTube booted you. I want our language back. I want freedom of speech. You should be able to say anything you want. We'll argue your point on the merits of what you say, you know. Here you go. Laugh in their faces. Democrats, stop attacking our guys for wearing MAGA hats. We don't attack your guys for wearing dresses. Oh, there you go. Silly for him. Emirates Global Aluminum will build a primary aluminum smelter worth $4 billion in Oklahoma. Oh no, Carol, we're still rolling. That might have been those rascally trolls. I know YouTube's got trolls at work in YouTube. But we laugh in your face because we continue. We're still here. And all we got to do is present you with facts. It's your kryptonite. It's sunlight. Biden couldn't get a $1 million in American investment in 4 years. $3 trillion in 3 days. And while he was over there, he's talking to Putin, setting up arrangements with Putin, Zelensky. He went to talk to the guys in Syria, trying to get things straightened out over there. There you go, Carol. Troll House cookies for YouTube. So anyways, there was a lot of good stuff on the news this week. A lot of movement in the MAGA efforts. We are winning. Trump flies home with trillion-dollar deals, and these buffoons are standing around with resist signs. With tire marks all over their faces. That's the way you do it, Patriots. Never forget. Daily reminder. Trump held 96 rallies in 2004. CNN aired one of them live. Butler, Pennsylvania. Never forget, they wanted you to witness Trump getting murdered by a headshot at a rally on live TV. That's what they used their power to prevent. How did CNN know to be there? Nobody's asking that. All right, Gateway Pundit reporting. Negotiations towards a ceasefire starting immediately. And looky there, Russia wants to buy American stuff. Our Congress has kept us paralyzed, Patriots. Paralyzed. All tied up in their rules, their regulations. There you go. There's a nutshell meme right there. Deport it, drill it, ditch it, drain it. So there was some information that came out. I'm still running it down. But you all remember the Las Vegas shooting from the Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay was a failed assassination attempt of both Trump and Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Johnny, now the de facto ruler of the Saudi Kingdom. Mohammed bin Salman was in Vegas on 10/1/2017 to meet with Donald Trump. Trump's advanced SS team exposed the plot in enough time for Trump to warn bin Salman, saving his life that night. Consider that, looking at all the footage that we just saw, bin Salman giving the chest pump. He was hugging himself. Trump was up there speaking, and bin Salman was actually hugging himself. He stood there on the runway to greet him. He walked him to his plane to see him out. It sure looks that way, Patriots. That's top secret information. Don't tell anybody about that, though. I forget what this one says. Did you know the GOP-controlled House and Senate sent fewer bills to President Trump than any Congress in 70 years? Consider that. Trump handed this party the presidency. They had 2 months from the election to get their bills in order. They did nothing for 2 months. Trump was inaugurated. They did nothing. They had nothing ready to go when Trump ascended power. These people hate you. They hate our country. They are phony to your face. And we will continue to fight on. We're going to win. Here we come. We the people. God's army. And I don't think we have anything to worry. Nothing to worry about. Because we have assumed control. Well said, Carol. Big Johnson is a little weenie. So that's all I got today, Patriots. A lot happened this week. That's my point, right? When in actuality, revealing of the rigged 2020 election, Joe Biden is completely incompetent when they elected him. Like, it's like, no shit, Sherlock, right? We knew that. We knew it. We saw it happening. We didn't go out and burn any cities down. We said, stop it. The court said, nope, can't show it to us. 60 cases, evidence was not even looked at, thrown out of court. That was 5 years ago. They're still doing the same thing now. And the Supreme Court comes in and finally lets Trump kick Venezuelans out of the country. Like we need their permission. Yeah, I don't get it, but we're going to get through this, Patriots. I don't see the solutions yet, but we are definitely marching towards them. So stay united, Patriots. Stay involved. Definitely vote and consider amplifying whatever it is that God gave you the abilities to do, to just amplify. We got to get this message out. God's given us this battle. He gave me a YouTube channel. We're going to use it. He gave Sylvia excellent and Carol skills on a computer to be mods. It's everybody. We need everybody. Suzanne Monk writing books. Adam Villarreal trying to get something fired up to help somebody. Some of the J6ers there with skills and stuff and a possible plan for the future. Even Jake Lang, whatever. But he might not be doing it the way I would do it, but he's doing it. He's on our team. Unify, march forward, and amplify. That will be our message for the week. All right, Patriots, another rock star week coming up. Kash Patel said within a week we're going to have some more major information. A lot of undisclosed JFK and RFK assassination information is going to be coming out this week. I think we're going to see some amazing stuff because this is the stuff that's getting released now that was never looked at before. So we got big things happening. We got the power, people. We got the power. It's our country. We love it. We're taking it back. So thanks for joining me, Patriots. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share it out, and we will catch you later. This is Jericho, over and out.